Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my sunset live. Even though the sun has set, so it's late. It's a late night sunset. My late night sunset. But it is a little after 7. Let's see what actual time it is. It's 7:10. And it is March 10th, Tuesday, 2026. And it's only 60 degrees outside. It feels a bit warmer, maybe just because I'm on my patio or whatever, but um, it's a very nice night. We've had a lot of rain, and it threatened to rain, and it did rain. And so we have these really pretty clouds. Now, the sunset, I don't know why it does that. Sometimes we have clouds in the sky, but the sunset doesn't really, um, it's not as spectacular as you would have thought it would be. I think it has to do with the altitude of the clouds or something. But anyway, it kind of looks nice. Sometimes I like to wait until it does get to this late night sunset. I know it's only 7, but in terms of sunsets, it's late night sunset. Uh, because it gives like a little bit of a light contrast that looks really nice. So I opted for the late night sunset instead of the earlier one. So today was very nice. Energetically, I think today was a little bit of a window in space and time that is a little bit different than the general energy that's been going on for pretty much the beginning of the year. Since the beginning of the year, we've been in a real transition, and I'm not sure what it is. Maybe because of the big shift with Neptune going from Pisces to Aries, and the fact that it shifted, it was it had gone retrograde for 6 months in the latter part of the year. So we backed into Aries earlier um, last year, and then it went back into Pisces, and then now we're transitioning into Aries in Neptune proper, and it is going to be there for about 11 or 12 years. So yeah, I think, and then Mercury is in retrograde right now as well. But there's something going on, and I'm not sure what it is, because I'm just now coming to that understanding that this today, anyway, I don't know how long it's going to last. It's been a little bit of a window or a confluence of a different type of general energy than we've been experiencing um, so far this year. So be interesting to know what other people's experiences have been today. And I know that's no real test of anything, but be interesting to know if others have experienced this difference in energy today. But that's pretty much all I had to add for things to talk about. Hi in the chat. A unicorn bucket. Well, hell yeah. Okay, unicorn bucket with a name like that. I have to wonder how your day went today. Did you experience some unusual energies different than what you've been experiencing the rest of the year? I don't know if you're still there, Unicorn Bucket, but thanks for hopping in my live. and enjoying this late night sunset with me. But if anybody does hop into the chat over the next couple of minutes, because then I'm going to go, I've got a thing in the oven that I'm anticipating. But if you hop into the chat, let me know where you're at and what time it is so we can um, use our conscious minds to kind of give our subconscious minds a little bit of a uh, suggestion to go into the ethers in whatever way that it does, because it does, we know it does, and converge, create a time and space portal where consciousnesses can converge. So just by, we don't really give significance to like how this world suggests things to us and um, affects us in the ethereal realms, but even something like a location and a time, and it's an activation of your conscious mind, which gives a cue to your subconscious mind. It's what advertisers use to hypnotize you and things like that. But we can do it to ourselves consciously and decide what we're going to direct our astral energies to do. Okay, let's see who else is in the chat. Hello from South Africa. Hi, welcome. What time is it? What is it? 2 or 3 in the morning? Wow, you're up late. The energy is the same from my side, huh? Sun is gonna rise in a few hours here. Yeah, okay. Very cool. Okay, so you're experiencing and anticipating the rising of the sun, and I'm saying good night to the sun. The sun has just set, and that's kind of what these lives are: is me saying good night to the sun in a casually formal way. So that's very interesting. That's very interesting. I wonder what will come of this. Okay, and that was Aubrey Makubo. Hi, Aubrey. Welcome to my sunset. What thing? I don't know. We don't know. I mean, subconsciously we know, but my conscious mind doesn't know. It's just that whatever we are putting our attention on in the conscious realm, it's going to have an effect on the other layered realities that we exist in. So um, when you get there, you'll know, you'll see it. So you want to direct it in ways that will suggest things that you want to manifest there. Um, Emma Terrell, hi. What are we doing? We're looking at the sky. We're saying goodnight to the sun. I'm in Arizona in the United States, and the sun just went down. I usually go live for the sunsets, but sometimes I go late, and the sun has now set. We earlier in the live we had a little bit of light still, and the clouds were giving us some colors and things, but that's all. We're saying goodnight to the sun and enjoying this consciousness convergence, aka YouTube live. And let's see, she's watching the sunset. Thanks, Aubrey. Oh, how sweet. Do I sound like I'm attractive? Well, hey, I'll take that as a compliment. What's my horoscope? My sun is in Cancer, so I'm a water sign, but my moon is in Sagittarius. So I'm like a hot spring. Or thermal waters is how I kind of identify myself. Let's see. Domingus. Oh, Domingus Casoma. Hi, welcome. Where are you from? Interesting name. Argentina? Is that Argentinian? I don't know. Um, let's see. Okay, yeah, Roswell happened in Nevada. We're close. Our corners touch each other. The state of Nevada and the state of Arizona share some border or whatever, so we're close. Um, but it is another state. Um, what happens when the sun finishes setting? Then we go into the night and we get to enjoy the nighttime energy, which is different. So there are things that happen in the liminal spaces. And so, there are portals that happen in the shifting of time and the shifting of the cosmos. And the quickest ones that we can experience is just the rising and the setting of the sun and the moon. And, as the further planets do things like your Mars, your Venus, and things like that, those affect us in different ways. Um, but we get to cycle through the sun and the moon every single day. And um, so that's kind of how we interact with the universe on different layered realities is that fact is that the cosmos out there um, expands infinitely away from where our attention is right here in this time and space and these avatars that we're in. And so, astrology, that the ancient um, science, I would say, of astrology is kind of informing us of that multi-dimensional layer with how the planets interact with us. And I don't know how they found this out or whatever, but the fact that each of the planets has some sort of effect or governs some sort of realm kind of indicates that there's a reality involved and that guides us and that we can tap into when we understand what those things are by focus, just because this reality is all mind, I guess, and consciousness. So just putting your attention on the thing is a way that we tap into the thing. We haven't been trained that way. We disregard the power that we do have with just our mind. But and that's kind of why I was saying to put your time and location into the chat, because just seeing that, just, all of us seeing those differences in locations and um, knowing the experience that that person is having with the cosmos. So you're anticipating one celestial body, and I'm doing something different with a different celestial body. So it kind of puts it creates a little bit of a vortex because our attention is in motion as we focus on those different cosmological bodies or whatever. So that's what we're doing here, basically. Okay. W Mom W. I don't know what that means. But yes, Area 51 is in Nevada. Hi, Prosper Benjamin. That's a cool name. Emma Terrell, hi. Let's see who else we have in there. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So Aubrey, yeah, Aubrey, you're on track. You're following. You're picking up what I'm putting down. Uh-oh, 6-7 is in the in the chat. Um, yeah, 6-7. I won't get into that. No, our brain. So Aubrey, you're saying that our brains don't have the senses to process those. We have to evolve and develop more senses. Um, Not necessarily. So, everything in existence exists in infinity. And so even though, you know, we are perceiving this reality right now, how it is, we perceive um, things as being finite, like this umbrella and this chair, and we apply that to different realms. Like, we say that, oh, that's a moon, that's a sun, that's a planet, and we're projecting our senses onto things. But it doesn't really matter. You're tapping your brain is tapping into other um, realities. Your brain is actually a really sophisticated thing, and it has the ability to be multidimensional. But we're trained. Our culture trains us to shut off the multidimensional access by through our consciousness. And that's why you want to choose your consciousness. If you choose your consciousness, you're actually expanding your brain power. That's actually how you become smarter, is you choose to open your consciousness to things that may not be totally in front of you. I'll say that, and I'll leave it there, because I don't want to, because you don't want to. You want to be careful, and you want to have some mastery and some discernment. So this is where discernment comes in. And a lot of the religious practices, pretty much all of them, the religious practices, that's what they're for, is to help to refine your level of discernment. But they are training wheels to understanding the cosmos in a larger way as well. So, that's kind of what we're here to do in this reality, because things seem finite and distinct. Um, it's basically a slowed down reality, and it's a training wheel to help us to identify the small the what things are constructed of, and to how to negotiate them. But really everything is moving. It just seems like it's still. And so when you expand your consciousness and open up your consciousness with discernment, because you do have to have that, or else, you can go crazy, you can have things, things may not happen the way you want. So you refine your discernment and your nervous system, your body. And I think this is where my work comes in. So I do have some work. I usually put my links in the description if you want to work with me or whatever. I'll put them in later. But the body is an important tool for you to, and this is where our senses come in, is your taste, your touch, your sight, your all of these things are there to give us a multiple ways to kind of sense reality, to put it together and create a synesthetic thing. So how we perceive reality is the culmination of all of our senses working together to project what we do see. And so it so anyway, if you if you want to uh, go deeper into this, so I have a free app, if anybody's still here listening to me, but I have a free app that's totally free. It's private and all that stuff. You can just use it. But it kind of answers a lot of these questions for you according to your blueprint. So it does use astrology. You put your birth date and stuff in there. And then all of your questions that you're asking the oracle in there, it's framing it from your blueprint, your frequency, And it, because it's doing that, you start to get an understanding of how your body, your mind, the cosmos, and the multi-layered dimensions of reality, the ethereal planes, are all related, and you start to see the depth of reality as opposed to just seeing it as finite. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get off of here because I gotta go. I gotta get this thing out of the oven. If you had a fun time on the Sunset Live, like and subscribe, and then I have some links on some things. I'll put them in here, or they're in some other live that I do. I don't really do long form videos. I'm gonna start doing those more. I just like going live because it's super lazy. I can just go live. It creates content, and I like that. But I might start doing some more long form videos. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, and hopefully I'll see you on another one. Good night.